If you are going through a breakup and you're struggling with going no contact, then I think this video is for you. Okay, so you have watched the YouTube videos, you read the articles that all tell you that going no contact is such an essential thing that you need to do after a breakup to help yourself heal, to give yourself the space that you need to do the work on yourself. So intellectually, you get it that this is something useful and helpful and important for you to do at this stage. So intellectually, you know how important it is, but on the other hand, when it comes to taking action on it, when it comes to putting it into effect, actually going no contact with your ex, you are not quite sure how to do that. Every time you try to do it, you go back and you try to reach out, you text, you call, you reestablish the connection. So intellectually, you understand the importance of the process, why you should do it, the reasons behind it. But when it comes to applying this knowledge, this is when you find it challenging and hard. What so many of these YouTube videos and articles don't tell you, besides how important it is the reason why it is difficult to actually do no contact. And maybe when you understand this, then you would be able to put it into action to actually get yourself to completely disconnect from this person. What happens when we have a relationship with someone, especially if this relationship lasts for a month or even years, is that every time we have an interaction, every time we have an experience together, there is something that we do together. Every time we are in the presence of this person, we establish a connection. And this connection creates chemicals in our bodies. And over time, the structure of our brains changes to reflect the kind of relationship that we have with this person. This means that over time we become addicted to the chemicals that our bodies produce every time we are in contact or we have an interaction with this person. This means that the structure of our brains, our bodies, our intellect, our emotions change to reflect the presence of this person in our lives. So what happens is that when we go different ways, when we go separate ways after a breakup, what happens is that our bodies are craving these chemicals, these hormones that were produced every time we come in contact with this person. So in a way, our bodies, our brains, they are addicted to this person's presence in our lives, especially if you are someone who identifies herself as anxiously attached. So for us, this is even stronger process because over time we depend on this person to feel safe. We depend on this person to feel supported, to feel comforted. This person becomes our attachment figure, and so we depend on this person to give us these feelings. So when this person is no longer in our lives, our bodies crave this person's presence. That's why we feel the need to reach out, to text, to call, to check their social media accounts, because our bodies, our brains, they are doing their best to get us back to a place where they think, our bodies and our minds, they think that this is the source of our safety. This is the source where we get comforted, where we get supported. You have to remember this. Our brain's number one role in this life is to keep us safe. It will do anything it can to keep us safe. The problem is that our brains cannot distinguish the good kind of safety with the addiction kind of safety. And what I mean by that is that in this case, this addiction is not something healthy for us. It is something that is going to bring us pain on the long term, and actually it is already bringing us pain. If you're no longer together, this means the relationship is not working. So in this case, our brains are trying to get us back to a place where it feels familiar, because it does not want us to get to a place where we were unfamiliar, where it's unknown, we're not quite sure what happens. So our minds, they prefer a familiar place where we get pain over a place where we're not sure, where there is uncertainty. We're not sure what's going to happen. This is why it is so important for you to understand that this state, that in order for us to be able to take action and go no contact, it's really important for us to treat this breakup like an addiction. Why? Because in order for us to disconnect from this person, we have to anticipate that there are going to be times on the days when we want to reach out, when we want to call, want to text, want to ask questions, to get closure, to check the social media accounts. We have to be able to anticipate that. And this is normal. But it does not mean that you are in love with this person. It does not mean that this is the one for you and that you're so scared because you're losing the one person who is going to make you happy. If this person was the right person for you, he would still be in your life. If he chose you, he would be the one, but he did not choose you. He let it go. This means this is not the person for you. So it's really important for us to get ourselves to a place where we acknowledge that, okay, this is like an addiction. And for us to be able to break free from this addiction, there is going to be times when we crave this person's presence in our life, but it does not mean that we take action on this feeling. It's okay to have a feeling, but not take action on it. It's okay to have an emotion, but not to take action on it. That was one of the biggest revelations in my life, along with the revelation that I don't believe every thought that I think. So every time I think, well, that was a person for me. He was here. We had a good chemistry. I don't have to believe every thought that I think. There are brains, our minds. They lie so often to us. They have such an ability to mess up with the reality that we live because it wants to create a narrative that is going to keep us safe as much as possible. So this means that number one, I don't have to believe every thought that I think, and number two, I don't have to take action upon every feeling that I have. It's okay to feel that, okay, I miss this person, but I'm not going to reach out. I miss this person, but it does not mean that he is the right person for me. I miss this person, but it does not mean that he offered me value. I am only feeling this way because I got used to his presence in my life. That is all. The other thing that is really important for us to understand when we want to go no contact during a breakup is that our subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of decisions, the choices that we make in our daily life. Only 5% is what our conscious mind is responsible for. So we are walking around in our lives thinking that we have autonomy, that we have control, that we are actually making our decisions and our choices from conscious place. Now, guess what? Only 5% of our conscious mind is responsible only for 5% of this important process of making decisions and making choices. The other 95% is up to our subconscious mind. This means that there are so many things that are working behind our awareness that actually control the actions that we do on a daily basis. This means that when you reach back to this ex who you know that this is not a healthy person for you to be in your life, or that staying in contact is not going to serve you as much as staying apart and having your space and allowing yourself the time to heal, taking action upon this thought is not going to serve you, because this is a thought that comes from a feeling of fear, from a feeling of being abandoned, of feeling that you're not enough, that you're not lovable. You want to prove to yourself that this person still wants to be with you. We are trying to get safety back to our lives. So it could be so many other things, but we find a way to put it under the title of, oh, we're so in love with this person. Let me make sure that I get the closure that I want. Maybe if I try one more time, maybe if I go back and fix the things that I think I did wrong, none of that is going to help you. I'm here to tell you, and I'm speaking from experience, none of that is going to help you. I can tell you from my own personal experience that staying in contact wasted years of my life, years, not even months, years, and this is no exaggeration. You go back and you give a second chance, a third, a fourth, and you keep wasting such a precious time of your life in hopes that this person is going to wake up one day and miraculously realize your value. If this person chose to not be with you, that's it, period. This is all the conclusion you need. I can't stress this enough. There is nothing that you can get from the other person, from your ex, that is going to help you ease the pain that you are feeling right now. You think that, well, if I get the answers, if I stay in contact, if we stay friends. No, if you can go no contact, do it. This is the number one thing that is going to serve you more than anything else. So, the most effective way that I have found, that I have tried personally, that helped me to stay in no contact, is to calm my nervous system down, to know how to regulate my nervous system. Because every time I had an impulse, when my nervous system was not regulated, when I was in an agitated and anxious, in a fearful state of mind and body, I would go and take an action that I would regret later. Okay. Now, if you reach out, please don't feel bad about yourself. I have done that. That's okay. But from now on, try to get yourself on the right track. So when you sit yourself down, when you sit your body down, you listen to calm music, breathe, right? You slow your breath down. When you anchor yourself to this present moment, you breathe into your heart. The speed of your thoughts calms down. It slows down. So you do this enough times and your body is going to cooperate. Your mind is going to follow you, the bigger you, the one that knows, the one that has the wisdom to be able to choose healthy things for you that are going to serve you in your life. So, what happens over time when you keep doing this, when you keep calming your nervous system down to regulate it so that you're no longer in a state of fear, in a state of panic, in a state of anxiety, the more you do this, the less likely you're going to act upon fearful and anxious thoughts like, let me reach out. Let me make sure whether he doesn't want to go back. Let me get answers. Let me get closure. Let me see if he's still interested. You would be less likely to act upon these thoughts. So, number one, you're going to notice that the number of times that you will experience these stimulations, they are going to go down, right? So, instead of thinking about reaching out, I don't know, like 20 or 30 times a day, you would start having only 15 of these thoughts. And then number two, you are going to be okay having that thought, just noticing it, observing it, becoming aware of it, not judging yourself for thinking this way, and then letting it go and moving on with your day. So the thought is going to be less stimulating for you. It's just going to be something that happens, you notice it, and then you move on. You don't act upon it. This is the power of awareness, and this is the power of a calmed nervous system, a regulated nervous system that allows your body to work in synchronization with your mind, with your heart, with the bigger part of you that knows what is healthy for you and chooses accordingly. What you will notice over time is that literally you are going to have less thoughts about your ex. You're not going to be in as much pain physically. The wires, the structure of our brains that was constructed before as a result of us being in contact with this person, they are going to be changed over time to reflect this person's absence from your life. This means that you are going to start engaging more in your daily life, in your daily activities, and you are going to notice that you will become more and more present. So you would miss him less, you would think about him less, you would engage in all of these thoughts that are related to the relationship, rumination, and all of these, mix of thoughts and emotions. They are going to go down, and you will gradually start to find that you are going back to a state where you can experience more joy, more presence, more peace. You're going to start feeling whole again. And remember, and the last thing that I want to mention here is that I want to remind you that this too shall pass. There is no pain in this life big enough to stay a lifetime. This too shall pass. It's only going to be a matter of weeks or worst case scenario, months. But then you're going to, you know, go back to your life, find yourself again, realize that there is no loss in life. There is no loss in life, and there are no mistakes in life. Every experience you have, it adds to you. Every experience you have, there's going to be wisdom out of it. It's an experience that builds you up, that gives you the opportunity to work on yourself, to heal, to find out more about what you want and what you're no longer willing to accept or tolerate in your life. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this. If you have any other questions or topics about how to get over a breakup, especially for anxiously attached women, let me know in the comments and I'll see you in our next video. Take care of yourself.